Thank you for today. Today's lesson we are continuing with the series in regulators, or the lessons in solar charge controllers or solar charge regulators. Thank you for joining us on the physics mindset as our channel. Subscribe and like for more tips on solar systems, on solar installations, electronic repairs, which we shall see after these lessons. Then we go on electrical installations, because it is very good. After knowing how to handle this solar system, you need to know how to handle the electrical wiring, and we shall all cover everything in this channel. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more information or more knowledge on technologies. As I told you from the beginning, technologies start with physics. Without physics, you can't have the technology which we are having, the gadgets, the AI we are using. All this is come from physics, and our channel is the physics mindset. We shall look at all the things in technology which you want to learn. Now we started with the solar installation, all the solar systems. That's why I want my people, wherever they are, that you can have light with the free sun to save some of the electrical bills. Okay, today we entered another channel, another topic of solar charge controllers. Let's go back small. We learned about the solar panels, all connections, how the solar panel came into existence with the silicons, the cells, and we learned that each cell may be having 0.5 to 0.6 on the full sun. And we saw how a solar panel is connected, the series, parallel, and parallel or serial connection. Now we went on, after knowing the solar panels, we went on and went through the charge controllers. Now these charge controllers, we saw in the last videos, we saw how the function of a charge controller and how the charge controller works in our solar system. Okay, the way you see it there, the charge controller, it is in the middle between the panel and the battery plus the rods. Okay, now we talked about the charge controllers, but we didn't know, is there, one of our clients will say, is there some type of charge controllers? Some technicians also, people who know solar also, they may be there without knowing that charge controllers has types. Okay, there are types of charge controllers on the market in different countries. Okay, now we came up that we need to discover or to learn about these types of charge controllers. And today's lessons, we are jumping into the types of charge controllers. Today we are looking at the type of solar charge controllers or regulators. Okay, sorry. Now we have two types of solar charge controllers. Okay, these are PWM and MPPT. I know technicians and the beginners. These lessons are both the beginners, the already in the field technicians, the electricians, and also our customers. I give the simplest way. I explain the things in the simplest way that even a beginner is able to understand everything. Okay, if you write down some notes, you will see that you are gaining some knowledge about solar from the beginning. If you start with the solar systems or the solar panels until today, until where we are going, you will know much more about solar. And the moment we leave solar, we are going into electricals. So don't miss all these things. These things were made, and I'm here to give you all the knowledge you need to know, all the technical knowledge, the engineering knowledge, but I'm going to simplify the things. I'm not going to take you too much in calculations. Okay, I give you the calculation which you need in a particular area, like in solar panel, how we saw how many solar panels you need, how to calculate the solar panels in the system, there is a calculation we did, a simple one. Okay, now we went on these regulators. We shall see how do you determine to calculate a size of a regulator or a charge controller, which we are going to see in the next video. Okay, now today we are looking at the types of charge controllers. We have two types of charge controllers. Okay, we have one, the PWM, which stands for pulse width modulation, and we have the next one is the MPPT. MPPT stands for maximum power point tracking. Those are the two types of charge controllers. Now today we are looking at let's first look at the PWM, which stands for pulse width modulation. The pulse width modulation. The pulse width modulation. That is one of the type of charge controllers. There are very many on the market. Yeah, it is very rare to find the MPPT. Okay, MPPT, we shall see also why we don't find MPPT mostly on our markets, in different areas, different markets. Okay, why we normally see the pulse width modulation or the PWM charge solar regulators, they are very, very common. Okay, I'm giving an advice to you, a technician or a beginner in solar or in a technical. Yes, this is I generally see it with like electrical or engineering course. Now, if you're a beginner, please, if you want to master the way I did, each topic, if we learned about each topic, get some small money, go and buy, or if you have a small panel, okay, get a small panel. It will give you an image and you will master everything. The moment you watch the videos we are giving you as a physics mindset, you will master the things. The moment now we finish the solar panels, whoever didn't understand the solar panels, you can comment down and we see how we can solve our solutions. Okay, now you can have, I'm giving you this advice, you can have a small panel to represent the panels. Okay, now you will see, if you follow all the videos, when you have that small panel, watch the video while you watch the panel, you will see that, compare what was in the video, what I said, what I taught you, compare it with this small panel you're having, which will represent as a beginner. Start with your solar. Don't wait to get a job. Go in the market, buy a small panel, see how many cables are on the panel. Then you will have to say that, oh, there are two, positive and negative. Okay, now then go on the market. Now we're on the topic or a channel of, or a chapter of charge solar regulators. Okay, now also charge solar regulators, go and look for a charge solar regulator. Though I don't have them here, but I would have showed you, but I will be showing you on the images or the photos of this charge solar regulator, so that you will know what you can get or what you can buy. Don't wait for the job to come. Okay, then we have PWM and MPPT. Let's talk about a PWM and we see which type of regulator is this. How can it help us? I see it a lot of everywhere. A lot of technicians like to use it because of some issues. Because of one point why a lot of technicians like to use it and why it is common on the market is it is less expensive, meaning it's not expensive than the MPPT. Okay, it is not expensive. This PWM, the pulse width modulation, is not expensive. That's why it is all over the market. Okay, that's why a lot of market they have the solar shops, you will find it, but you may ask the MPPT and they will say they don't have. Few shops will have it. Okay, but they all work the same things. But just because this is not expensive, the PWM, yes, as you can see it there, this is the PWM. You see the image, the photo for it. Okay, that's the PWM. It is not expensive. Okay, there's another point we can see on the pulse width modulation is it is suitable for small solar systems. Okay, this charge controller is suitable for small solar systems. This is the standalones, the one on the street lights. Okay, the one we normally use at home. Yes, those are the small solar systems I'm talking about. The street lights, the one at home. If you have a family, you can use this PWM. It works for you very well. Okay, that's why it is so suitable for small systems, because it is not expensive and we need our battery to charge. That's why we need it. And then going for the one which is expensive, the MPPT, and it is not common on the market. Okay, another point we have seen, this PWM, the panel voltage should closely match with the battery voltage. Listen this, it is used in the conditions where the panel voltage should closely match with the battery voltages. What does it mean? It is used in the condition whereby if the panel voltages must be closely with the battery. Okay, if we are using, let me give you an illustration. If this is our panel voltages, the panel voltages we might use something like 18 volts. A panel might be, panels have different voltages and different number of cells. It depends on the number of cells. Each number of a cell, when the sun is fully hitting the panel, each cell will have 0.5, okay, or 0.6 volt. Okay, now it will depend how many cells are on your solar panel, and it will depend on the voltage output. Okay, now let us say our panel has 18 volts, meaning this is the panel, meaning our battery, positive, negative, it may be having, this is 12 volts. Yes, batteries are measured in 12 volts. You see the range 18 and 12. Okay, 18 and 12, the difference is like something like 6. Something like 6. That is not much. That's the point of the panel voltage should closely match with the battery voltage. The panel voltage should be nearly the battery voltage. That's why they use the PWM. Okay, when the panel voltages are near the battery voltages. And this was just something small. Yes, another thing, and these are one of the why we need to use the PWM, pulse width modulation type of solar charge controller. As you can see there, that's the PWM solar charge controller, and it is not expensive. It is used on small solar systems. Okay, it is also used in the situation where the panel voltages are closely or the same to be like with the battery voltages. As I've explained, if the panel is sending is 18 volts and the battery, automatic battery, is 12 volts, that's not a difference of 6 volts. Okay, now we use the PWM. That's why a lot of homes, those are small solar systems, like our homes, those are small solar systems. Then we call it to use the pulse width modulation, or the PWM, which you have seen there. You see? Yeah. Now let's talk about, does this PWM has some advantages. Okay, automatic, it must be having some advantages. Before we go to buy it, we first search what is good in it. Let's see the good thing in it. It is cheap. This PWM is cheap. That's why we go for it. That's one of the advantages. It is cheap. It is all over. Okay? Then the MPPT. MPPT is more expensive, as we shall see when we are talking about it. Now, the advantage of the PWM, it is cheap. Another point, it is simple. The PWM is simple. As you can see it is simple to use than, or it is simple. We make mean that it is easy to connect. Okay. Simple. Another point is, another disadvantage is, it is reliable. It is reliable. You can connect it anywhere. Reliable. We use it on our small system. Those are our home systems, solar street lighting. Those are small systems, which it is common everywhere. Because we are talking about our home, unless when we go to industrial solar installations. That's where we shall call the MPPT. Or we are going to power the village, that is solar plant. There we shall call the MPPT. Okay. Now it is used at our home. It is cheap. It is very simple. It is reliable. Now, why should we go for the PWM? It works best for small systems. Okay. Now, there is another point. Let us see the disadvantages, which normally we normally ignore. Okay. We normally go for advantages only. Now there is a disadvantage. Which disadvantage of this PWM type of solar charge controller or regulator? What is the disadvantage? Check this. The disadvantage of the PWM, what? It is low. It has low efficiency. Okay? Its efficiency is low. That's the bad thing. It is common. It is good for our system. It is cheap. It is reliable. It is simple. But its efficiency is low. Yet we want something which will make our system work properly. But check out, the efficiency is low. Which efficiency is 70 to 80%. So it means that when it is cloudy, this charge, when the panel it's not receiving the sun, low power will be produced, okay, to the regulator so that it charges the battery. Now the regulator also will be dull. That's the efficiency. It will be dull. It will not work the way we want it. Okay? Whereby we shall see how MPPT does it. Okay? This regulator, its efficiency, when it is cloudy, the battery will not fully be charged. And our power or our gadgets at night will not work properly, or will work for few hours. Its efficiency, we mean when it is raining, okay, the battery will not be charged fully because the solar panel is not receiving any sun. Even the regulator will say, I'm not receiving anything from the solar panel to charge the battery. This comes to the low efficiency, 70 to 80%. As we said, solar systems are not really 100%. Okay? They help us to live a good life and to save some of the money we use on electrical bills. But it is not 100%. Its efficiency moves from 80 to 70 to 80, or 80 to 90, or 90 to 90, something like 95, not 100%. Okay? Now, we have seen the disadvantage, which is low efficiency. The advantages is it is cheap, simple to use, reliable, okay, in our small solar systems. And this is the type of the PWM, one of the solar charge controller. Okay, now let us talk about the MPPT. MPPT, it is not common on the market. People don't normally bring it in their shops because few people will buy it. Okay, a lot of people have households, which is sitting room, dining, bedroom, and kitchen, bathroom. That is a small solar system which will need a PWM, and it is cheap. Why don't I go for this? Okay, but let us see what is the MPPT. Okay, let's jump on and we see also the MPPT, its work. Is it reliable than the PWM? What is best? Okay, let us also talk about the MPPT, one of the type of solar charge controllers. Okay, now let us look at another type of solar charge controller or solar charge regulator. The first one we saw, it was PWM. Now the second one is the MPPT. Let us talk about the MPPT. Okay, we saw that the PWM is cheap, simple, reliable, and it is used on small solar systems. Those are our homes, the security lights, okay? And it is not expensive, okay? Now let us talk about the MPPT. What is the difference between the PWM and the MPPT? Okay, as a technician, you need to know the difference, but all work as charge controllers. Okay, MPPT is the maximum power point tracking. MPPT stands for maximum power point tracking. Yes, that's the one of the type of solar charge controllers. Maximum power point tracking, MPPT. Now, this MPPT, okay, listen very well. This MPPT is more advanced. Our number one point is more advanced. Okay, these MPPTs, why are more advanced? We are going to see why it is more advanced. It is more advanced than PWM. Why? Check. Don't move. We are going to see. Another point was it extracts. It extracts, like it gets the maximum power from the solar panels. It gets the maximum. It extracts. We have used the word extract, but you can use it gets, the simple English. You can use it gets the maximum power of solar panel. If the solar is ranged or is measured, if the solar is producing 18 watts, or let me say 20 volts, okay? If your solar panel is producing 20 volts, remember there is also some voltage losses in the cable when after connecting your solar, the cable goes to the regulator. Now there is some voltage drops. You'll measure with your meter. You'll measure if you need to have this. This is a meter which every technician, you can't do any fault. And we shall see how we use the meter. You can't do any fault without this. This is a multimeter. Okay? You can't do any fault without a multimeter. You can't don't go to a site without this. Always measure the voltages from the panel. Always measure the voltages which is going on the battery. Always measure the voltages from which is going to the load on the charge controller. Meaning you can't estimate which voltages. Okay? This must be one of your friend Wherever you move, put it in the bag. Wherever you're going, or you're going to the toilet, or you are bathing, go with it, okay? Because it is your friend in every situation. This is what will tell you to do, okay? That's why I tell you some voltages, about some current. You will not estimate. This will tell you the truth, okay? Now, after measuring with your multimeter, when your panel is bringing 20 volts, some voltages will drop in the process of moving. That is the voltage drop in the cable, okay? In the process, in the cable there is some resistance. This resistance, then at the last point, when you reach your charge controller to connect the wire from the panel, the voltage drop will drop some voltages, slightly small, like from 20 you may get 18 or 19, meaning there is 1 volt which has been lost in the resistance of the cable. Now, for the MPPT, for it doesn't want those things. That's why it is more advanced. Then we go back to, I told you I'm going to explain this, more advanced. Why it is more advanced, it doesn't want, even though there is some voltage drops, it will make sure it brings back, extracts the maximum power from the solar panel. If the solar panel is 20 volts and you are measuring 18 volts on your cable, when there is some voltage drops in the cable, okay, the MPPT doesn't want that nonsense. It again extracts more power from the panel, so that it gets exact power which is 20 from the panel. That is MPPT. That's why it is more advanced, okay, than the PWM. For PWM, we'll go with the power, even the voltage drops. For it doesn't complain anything. But MPPT, because it is advanced, it complains that no, I want the full power from the panel. Don't tell me about the voltage drops. And that is MPPT. It is more advanced, okay? And the thing is done by the electronics, which is designed by it, inside it, okay? Now, this extraction, it makes the MPPT, the maximum power point tracking, to be more advanced, okay? Like you see the point, it extracts maximum power from the solar panel, okay? You will not say that power will get lost, or battery voltage, or cable voltage drops, or voltage or current drops. For if you use the MPPT, it's the exact power from the panel. It will come into it, okay? Now we want to see, does the MPPT has some of the advantages? Because we saw the advantages of the PWM, the pulse width modulation, which is it was cheap, okay? Another point was it was reliable, okay? Another point was it was simple. Those are the advantages of the PWM, the pulse width modulation. Now, does the MPPT has some advantage? Okay. Oh, I love this. Let us see the advantages of MPPT. One is high efficiency. It has high efficiency, whereby we saw for the disadvantage of the PWM was low efficiency. But the MPPT, it breaks out that it is of high efficiency. Which measures of the efficiency does the MPPT has? It is 95 to 99, about to reach 100. This is MPPT. MPPT, it is another advanced technology, as we have seen here. It is more of advanced, okay? It was given time to solve one of the problems. You know why? this extraction of maximum power from the solar panel, this MPPT, you know what it does? If it is cloudy, or rain is coming, or it is raining, MPPT doesn't want to know if it is cloudy, if there is no sun. As long as it is a day, not night, panel will produce the maximum power. For it doesn't matter if there is rain or it is cloudy, the MPPT will get the exact voltages or the exact power from the panel. That is the thing which is making it more advanced. It doesn't matter whether the weather is cloudy, whether it is going to rain. For MPPT wants one thing: I want maximum power from the solar panel. Don't tell me about your weather. That is MPPT. That's why it is more of advanced. Okay? And this implies that MPPT is more better than the PWM. But only one problem, which you are going to see. Another advantage of MPPT, disadvantage of MPPT, okay? One of the advantages of MPPT is it has high efficiency. Its working process, the way it handles situations, if it is cloudy or rainy, for it charges the battery and the battery will get full. Even though you don't, if you buy the MPPT solar charge controller, don't worry about the weather, that my battery will not be fully charged. If it is day, for the MPPT extracts maximum power from the solar panel and your battery will get fully charged. Than the PWM, if it is cloudy, meaning it has nothing to do with the weather, the solar panel will not produce the enough voltage and the battery will not fully be charged. Okay, and your gadgets at night will work for few hours. But MPPT breaks out that. It says if it is day, even though it is cloudy or rainy, I want the maximum power from the solar panel so that my battery will be charging. And that is the best way, and that's why we say it is more advanced. Okay, another advantage of the MPPT solar charge controller, it works with high panel voltages. It works with high panel voltages. What does it mean? To work with high panel voltages, we have panels of 20 volts, 18 volts, 21 volts. Also, there are panels with 300 volts. That's why I told you MPPT is good working with like on the solar plants. Solar plant, I mean when there is a lot of like a 1 acre full of panels. That is a plant. We call it a solar plant, which can power a village. It calls a MPPT to work on these solars which use high voltages. These solar panels which use high voltages. Okay, and this point comes from it works with high panel voltages, the panel which produces high voltages. Okay, these panels normally they are connected on grid. The way you see that solar panel is connected on electric 3-phase lines. That is from the solar plant. The name changes. Solar plant, that is when you have mounted solar panels on the acres of land, either 1, 2, 3, 10 acres full of solar plants, like the way you can see, that's a solar plant. Okay, the way you are seeing, that's a solar plant. Very many panels mounted, and on this solar plant we use the MPPT. Okay, MPPT has some of the disadvantages. Okay, it has some of the disadvantages. What disadvantage? That's why technicians or electricians will run to buy the PWM, the pulse width modulation, because it is cheap. But we would love to buy the MPPT because of its advanced. Okay? But the advantage of MPPT, which makes us not to buy it, is it is more expensive. It is more expensive. Okay? That's why we leave it for people who are doing solar plants, like dealing with a lot of panel which produce a lot of voltages, because it handles all voltages. This MPPT handles all voltages. Than the PWM, it has a limit of voltages. Okay, this MPPT is meant for handling high panel voltages, and its efficiency is very good. As we said, if you are doing a solar plant to power a village, a certain village, you need to use the MPPT, because if it is raining, for MPPT will say my battery should be charged fully. Okay, so that the village people must light at night as usual, every day and on. Okay, but if we use the PWM, when it is raining or when it is cloudy, the voltage will be low and the village will be dark at night. Okay, but MPPT remove that thing. Yes, this is one of the disadvantage. It is more expensive. You can't buy something of millions. Let me say an example of millions, which I don't know. It depends on which country you are, on the market prices. Okay? And your system is in thousands. Then you buy one gadget or one component in solar system, which is MPPT, which is more expensive. And yet we have the PWM. And I want to only use, as we said, the PWM is used on small systems, meaning we shall go with the PWM because of some of the disadvantages of the MPPT, which is it is highly, or it is more expensive than the PWM. Yet they do the same function of charging the battery and protecting the battery. Okay? Only for the PMW, you have seen the difference. PMW, it deals with panels of high voltages. It has high efficiency than the MPPT has high efficiency than the PWM. Okay? And we shall say that the MPPT is more valuable than the PWM. But the PWM is a bit cheap, and its use, because we are dealing with the households, we shall use the PWM, even though it doesn't deal with the situation, the weather, than whereby the MPPT for it, you don't tell it any weather, it works. It needs the system to work the way you measured it. No excuse. Okay. Now, on our next video, we shall see, or our next lessons, we shall see how to calculate these solar charge regulators or solar charge controllers. How do you determine that this is the charge controller which I need to use? This is the amount of watts, because they are measured in amps. They are measured in amps. They deal with amps. So you have to know that this is the amount of amps I need for this solar system which you have calculated, or customer solar system. We are going to see how to calculate these charge controllers. I told you, I give you the simplest way so that it eases your life to do your work in a stable and suitable environment. I will not give you too much calculations. I will give you the calculation you will need to use in the future time when you're dealing with the solar installations. Don't just guess that you just buy a solar charge controller because you hear a charge controller. No, There is some small calculations I'm going to give you, and you follow it, master it, use it in your future time. It will help you forever. In all your projects in solar, use those formulas which I'm going to show you in the next video, and you will be happy with the system you design. Every system, you may become a system designer, that they call you, pay you, then you design a system, you give to a client. Because a client will tell you, I want you to design for me a solar system. First, we saw how to design a solar panel. Then we are going to see how we are going to design the solar charge controllers. Okay. Then again, we shall see how to design the battery. Then sometimes some people, they use an inverters, where also we shall go and design an inverter. Then tell me that you will not become a true technical or a true solar technician or an electrician. Okay. On electrical part, we shall see how to wire when we go to electrical part. Okay. On the load side, because we are going to look at everything, the electrical, electronics, but now we are finishing the solars so that we move slowly. I want to handle you the exact way how you can understand everything at a cool pace. Let us not go speedy. Get some notes, get some writings, and it will help you. And this is how the types of solar charge regulators. There are two, the PWM and MPPT. And those are the functions, the disadvantages and advantages. Okay? And thank you for watching. See you in the next video about how to calculate the amps of a charge controller, which you will need in any system. This is the formula you will be using. Check you in the next video. Thank you. Subscribe if you get some information from this video. Subscribe and like, comment. I'll answer you effectively. Thank you.